I respect that from from you and other veterans who want to speak up. I think they absolutely have a right to be questioning other veterans the same way, right? So
Yeah, I
that,
mean
that
that's kind of what we do, right? Like the stolen valor thing is a real it's a real thing. And
sure.
there's guys like me that we didn't do anything remarkable during our service. The
Most
only
people
thing I did
don't.
was I got two humanitarian awards. Yeah, I got two humanitarian awards,
Oh,
one for
that's
the
awesome.
my work with the tsunami in Indonesia, and then the one for Hurricane Katrina. I
Wait,
was boots on ground for both of them. Um,
what?
yeah, so
Oh, wow. Okay. Um,
yeah,
okay, that's
yeah, I was
interesting.
yeah, I was yeah,
Do you know what I'm
yeah, I
going to
did
ask
so
next?
for Hurricane Katrina. What's that?
Michael Herrera.
So I thought, yeah, so I brought that up when because so not only did I serve, I helped out with the tsunami, right? The tsunami happened, I think it was 2005. I was in Indonesia. I was in Jakarta, Indonesia, and that from a little small town, Tennessee to Jakarta. Let me tell you, the
Wow.
shock was unreal. Yeah. Um, but I also went two different times to Thailand. One in the exercise that he actually talks about. And I kind of weighed in a little bit on that, and I didn't really dive much more into it because I knew that this guy was full of it.
Yeah.
But it's the things he was saying. I was like, wait a minute, that's just kind of not. That's not what I did with the exercise that I was out there for, which is still, I think, is still going to this day. It's a joint kind of exercise that we do with the countries out there, and um, it, I can't believe that he would have been anywhere in that position and had seen any of those things, because then there would be a lot more people with eyes on it because it was an exercise. Um, that's just me, but everybody has their claim. So
No, I mean,
yeah,
I have
but
the only interview with Nathan, who is Michael's former team leader during that time, right? And I did an interview
right,
with him on my channel about, I mean, yeah, he's like, dude, there was no UFO. There was no, Michael did not get chosen for a secret mission on the boat. I knew where he was every second. He's like, there was only two, I think he said three people underneath him. Right. And he's like, I knew where they were
yep,
at all time for like a year. Right. It's like that he didn't
yep,
go do that. Like I went with him on the day to the for our humanitarian mission. Here's pictures. Here's us on the helicopter. Here, here's me, standing next to this coconut tree or what, like here we are. This is what we did that day. He's like, it was a nothing burger. We went, we did a few things, we
yeah,
helped out. Everyone took a trip on the boat. There were Marines, but you know, yeah, it's
yeah,
crazy to hear you say that. I mean, clearly there was more people there to do this and no one else saw this thing. And why would they choose this
yeah. So
random Marine to go on this secret mission to, I mean,
right, makes no sense, right? That goes
of
back to
course.
like Jason Sand's claims, right? So the way the military works, yeah, you're never alone. That's the whole purpose is you always have a buddy with you. And then on top of that, if depending on your rank, you always have a supervisor with you, and your supervisor is in charge of knowing where you're at all times. And then your supervisor, they're going all the way up to senior leadership, to officers. Everybody has to be accountable for everybody is, and there's a reporting structure. So the fact that these guys are going out saying that they go on these rogue missions that have no qualifications to be on said missions is a major red flag. And people pointed at, like, there were veterans pointing that out about Herrera.
Oh
That
yeah.
when he came out, like, hey man, they're like, that's not how this works. Like,
Yeah.
this would not have happened. And even if it did happen, you would have filed reports. There have been reports filed on your behalf. There would be in a paper trail. There'd been all kinds of things that would had it verified your claims, and that just was not the case. Yeah.
I
So,
mean, he never
no, I
provided
haven't seen
one
that episode.
iota of evidence. Oh, you haven't seen that episode? I'll send it to you. You should watch it with Nathan. Great guy.
Yeah.
Typical. I've worked with Marines in the restaurant industry before. Like I was like, oh dude, you're legit. Like you are, he's
Yeah.
totally legit. He served a long time. Like he you could just, I mean, just something about there's just a certain presence that you can feel from somebody that really served and was like really in, whatever. Anyway, I found him completely credible. But at the end of the day, look, it's kind of one of those things where you decide for yourself. Do you believe Michael or you believe Nathan? Do whatever you want. But I'll tell you, there's only one person making claims and there's only one person not providing evidence. And it's not on other people to disprove claims, right? Like that's not on us. You know what I mean? Like the people not making claims, it's not on us to prove your story, right? Like you're the one coming out with a story and a claim. You have to prove it. You have to bring evidence, not me. How can I disprove a negative, right? You can only just say, this doesn't seem logical. These things would have had to have happened for you to go on some secret mission. And I hate that it always falls back on, well, it was a secret mission. That's the whole point. You wouldn't have known about it. And I was chosen. It's like there's always this little out to the truth, right? Without providing any evidence. Of course, the camera that he took all the UFO pictures when he got back and stuck it in this locker, and then he went for a shower or something. He came back and it was gone. It's like,
disappeared.
Of course, yeah. Right? Of course. And none of the other people want to come forward because they're scared, right? Like there's always some out, some reason, something. And yeah, that bothers me, right? It does. It's like, I just don't believe it. Why do I have to believe it? Right. And why can't I ask questions? Right. Instead of being labeled disinformation agent, or that's going to happen on this interview. I can already see the comments. People are going to say we're both working, for the government. But the truth that you are, but I'm not.
Especially me.
Yeah. But like you have bad intentions. Like you want to see these people fail. Right. Like for no good reason. It's like, no, that's not what it is. And if it comes out that story of Michael Herrera is true and he provides evidence and I see it all, I will come out and say I'm wrong. I will come out and say, oh, shit, you were right. Okay, no problem. I want to believe this stuff, dude. I want there to be UFOs flying around and we live in a Star Trek world. That sounds great. The only problem is I'm not going to cross the finish line early or celebrate before I cross the finish line. Does that make sense? Like I want to believe in this stuff, but I'm not going to be celebrating I won the race before I get there. Why would I just believe to believe? That to me is a false sense of belief. I actually want to believe because I care about this. And like, I really want to believe, but I got to see some real shit to believe. I'm okay with just saying, I don't know.